me just try.
No downside? There's nothing out there?
Well, the downside, well, there's been talk. I think at an earlier meeting, I remember Councillor Moscow making a very articulate appeal that this is going to drive these donations underground. Frankly, I don't think that's going to be true. I think Canadians follow the law. We all follow the law, whether we agree with the law or not. That's our responsibility as citizens. But I think it would be very serious mistake, for example, for a developer to make an illegal campaign donation because they could be putting their own projects at jeopardy.
Assume complete honesty of all participants in the system. Are there any unintended consequences that might accrue to this initiative? Have you given any thought to that?
Well, I don't think so. I see this as a very positive thing, and okay, I really do. So, okay. So, Mr. Mayor, if I can just circulate a couple of copies
hand
here,
it to the clerk as per the normal rules. Thank you very much, Mr. Freeman. The next and last deputant is Mr. Paul Farrelly. Mr. Farrelly, you have the floor, and after you start, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. I put up a chart which is the 2003 elections compared to in the Toronto and the suburbs, with the breakdown of the corporate and union donations, or corporate contributions in this case, so about 3 million in election, about 4,300 corporate donations in Toronto, 4,800 in the suburbs. And I just have that as background because we wouldn't be here, Mr. Mayor, except for your interest and focus on this issue. It is indeed ironic, and greatly so, that the special meeting to ban corporate and union donations will take place on the anniversary of your inaugural speech in 2003, at which point you pointed out that this was one of the issues that you wanted to be addressed. And though occasionally we despaired, there is no cause to despair. This is great legislation, and you should be very proud of the leadership you've taken, because it's a significant step in advancing the sort of governance and integrity of this government, the sixth largest government in Canada. It's a leadership position. It's not something that a government would get the chance normally to decide, because it is largely the Ontario elections or the Ontario Ministry's responsibility. The Ontario Ministry, though there have been brought not thousands, but hundreds of complaints, many different illegalities around elections covered under the Act, the same Act that governs Toronto, except for Toronto's improvements. And after 2003, when Councillor Walker became chairman of the Administration Committee, a significant step forward took place in 2004, and this is the culmination of election reforms that go to the heart of people's confidence in the system. If you come to this place and the complexity of its governance, the 4,000 resolutions a year that you would pass around here, the number of them that can or have a dimension that can be affected by this ruling are significant. Because what the analysis revealed, it's really not the superset of all corporations, but only those subset of corporations that have a licensing, regulatory, contracting, or development association with the city. And since the people who get elected in elections are the public representatives, it really is a tarnish that will be done away with when this legislation passes. We really look forward to the debate. I think all 44 members of the party of one we will have a chance to hear where they stand. The fact that it is a special meeting, it will be very clear, and we're really grateful for this advance in democracy in Toronto. Thank you.
Okay, you have one question, two questions. Councillor McConnell, then Councillor Lindsay Luby, and then Councillor Doug Randy.
Thank you, Paul. There are two quick questions. The first one is, when you're referring to the suburbs, do you mean like the GTA? Is that what you've analyzed?
Yes, there are 10 municipalities
Yes.
in the surrounding.
Right. And the second thing is that you'll be giving us a copy of that, actually, will you?
It's part of Professor McDermott's paper, which is on our website. It's there, and would happily...
Well, perhaps you could just give a copy of it to the clerk and she can give it to us, because it's just difficult for me to read it, so that was good. Thank you very much.
I'll do that,
Thank you
Councillor.
for your
Thank you.
work. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Lindsay Luby.
Yes, just to tweak my mind, when was Councillor Walker chair of admin committee?
For 18 months, I believe, after the
Was he?
2003 election.
Okay, thank you. To clarify that. Second question.
Not that I follow his resume.
Second question. After you accomplish this goal, what are you going to go after next?
Well, this is part of a long-going political education program. We're delighted that Fair Vote has joined up with us. We're absolutely the indispensable Professor Robert McDermott, the work that he has done on this. He has gone to council meetings where he's got haircuts, he's got abuse, really throughout the thing, but he has stuck to his knitting. We're simply just doing the job of bringing this stuff into the light, because the major victory we had in 2004 on this was because the councillors here knew suddenly about the other councillors. They didn't know that before, unless they went down into the drawer and got the file. So this is better, and what we need to do is we have more people running. We need to have citizens realizing that it's a good thing to donate to their politician, because there is nothing. The heartwarming thing in the opposite to seeing the donations is the heartwarming thing is that citizens get out and support politicians. It is a great thing to see. More of it should be done.
Okay, can I just ask you, are you giving the same kind of spiel to the GTA municipalities like Vaughan, who seems to need it desperately? Are you doing the same thing there?
Well, Councillor, we may be supermen, but really it's up to the ministry to fix the problem, because unless the maturity of government is around the table, as it is in this city, then people can see the light. They can see what the implications are for democracy.
Okay, so
they
you're
don't
not
have
doing
that ability.
That's
they're
too
creatures
bad,
of the problem.
because it would be good to spread that word.
doing
Second
all we
question
can.
is, you didn't answer my other question was, what do you go on to next?
Civic engagement.
Civic engagement. And what do you intend to do there?
Get good candidates elected around this table and the bigger table.
Go out and beat the bushes? Is that what you're going to do?
We have no bushes to beat. Everything we do is totally and utterly above board. In fact, the last time we were here, you were going to put the city solicitor and the clerk on us, and it turned out that our numbers were far more accurate than your numbers.
Well,
so
apparently...
we never got an apology, though.
That, I will apologize for that. However, it would have been nice. I supported the city staff, thinking that they would have the correct numbers, which we tend to support our own staff. But, so how would you develop more civic engagement?
It's finding the connection, what people care enough about to act. That is the basis of community engagement. What do you care enough about to act? And if you care enough about your politicians, you will get involved. You will support politicians. You will engage with them. You will challenge them. You will help them get elected, and you will take defeat. You take defeat. There's a lot of defeat. I mean, all this started because we got defeated so much coming around here to try and get